It is a peculiar phenomenon. Usually after church service, everyone stands around visiting. I will be in a group chatting and hear my name spoken on the other side of the room. In the midst of all those voices, I hear my name. I'm not having a Samuel moment. My husband is talking about me to someone. Honestly, our friends think it's quite funny. The thing is, we've been married for 18 years. I know when he says my name. But he that entereth in by the door is the shepherd of the sheep. To him the porter openeth, and the sheep hear his voice. He calleth his own sheep by name, and leadeth them out. And when he putteth forth his own sheep, he goeth before them, and the sheep follow him, for they know his voice. John 10, 2-4, King James Version. In John chapter 10, Jesus tells a parable about sheep. This is an amazing chapter where he alludes to his death, resurrection, and the combining of the Jews and the Gentiles in the church, all while using sheep. When the shepherd comes, the sheep hear his voice, and they know his voice. He calls them by name. They follow him because they know his voice. They know his voice because they are his. When you know someone's voice, you've spent time listening to that voice. That voice has played through your mind and created a memory. You have a relationship with that voice. According to a study I found on Sage Journals, the more you're familiar with a voice increases your ability to understand that voice. If you're in a crowded, noisy room, you will be able to better understand the voices you are most familiar with. On a daily basis, we are bombarded with noise. Everywhere you go, you see and hear noise. Most of the time, it becomes background noise. The problem with background noise is that it can distract you from noises you need to hear. Are you familiar enough with the voice of God to hear it above the noise of life? And he said, Go forth and stand upon the mountain before the Lord. And behold, the Lord passed by, and a great and strong wind rent the mountains, and brake in pieces the rocks before the Lord. But the Lord was not in the wind. And after the wind an earthquake, but the Lord was not in the earthquake. And after the earthquake a fire, but the Lord was not in the fire. After the fire, a still small voice. And it was so that when Elijah heard it, he wrapped his face in his mantle and went out, and stood in the entering in of the cave. And behold, there came a voice unto him, and said, What dost thou here, Elijah? 1 Kings 19, verses 11-13, King James Version. It was a still, small voice. Sometimes we want the booming thunder from heaven. We want the burning bush. God wants us to listen intentionally. You have to be paying attention to hear a whisper. If I want my daughter to hear me, all I have to do is whisper to my husband. I could say the same thing to her over and over all day long, but she won't hear me until I whisper. Not only do we have to pay attention to hear a whisper, but you usually need to be close. Draw nigh to God, and he will draw nigh to you. Cleanse your hands, ye sinners, and purify your hearts, ye double-minded. James 4:8, King James Version. I am an affectionate person, but I also have a personal bubble. I will give you a big hug, but then please step out of my bubble. My husband and children are the only ones that can stay longer than a hug. This is because we have a close relationship. If I want to hear God's still, small voice and have him come near to me, I have to go to him. To be able to go near God, I have to have a clean heart and a mind focused on him. I have always heard that if you are thinking about blue cars, you will see blue cars. The number of blue cars won't change, but your mind will notice them more. Revelation 3:20 tells us that God stands at the door of our hearts and knocks. If we will hear his voice and open the door, then he will come in and fellowship with us. First, we have to hear his voice. It is amazing when we are looking and hungering for a word from God, we will find it. He wants to be with us. We just have to open the door to Him. But now thus saith the Lord that created thee, O Jacob, and He that formed thee, O Israel, fear not, for I have redeemed thee. I have called thee by name, thou art mine. Isaiah 43:1, King James Version. Something beautiful happens through redemption and relationship with Jesus. He knows me and calls me by name. My husband is a people person and has a memorable personality, while I'm more quiet and reserved around people I'm not familiar with. As I've gotten older and we've been married longer, I've gotten pushed out of my comfort zone and can chat with most anyone now. During Bible college, though, I was still my quiet self unless you got to know me. Most people we went to Bible college with remember my husband by name. I don't know how many times we have gone to a conference and heard his name called out. When they come up to us, though, they remember him but can't remember my name. Several times I've gotten, "Hi, Sister Place." I laugh because these weren't the classmates we hung out with. I still keep in contact with several that I was close with, and they won't forget my name. That's because we became friends. We have shared experiences and built relationships. It is the same with Jesus. It takes experiencing trials and joys. It takes faith and trust. He knows my name, and I know His. The last part of John 10:4 says, He goeth before them, and the sheep follow Him, for they know His voice. When we know His voice, He can lead us and tell us which way to turn. We have faith and trust that God won't lead us somewhere that He didn't have a purpose for us being. We can have confidence in where we put our foot because He tells us where to step. The path may not always be smooth, but if God directs us there, He has a purpose for it. This is a faith that comes from relationship and trust. And though the Lord give you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction, yet your teacher will not hide himself any more. But your eyes shall see your teacher, and your ears shall hear a word behind you saying, This is the way, walk in it, when you turn to the right or when you turn to the left. Isaiah 30, verses 20 through 21, English Standard Version. Sometimes it may only be a still small voice or a nudge, but His sheep recognize Him and follow. His sheep hear His voice.